There's one master, and no disciple is above him. No disciple is above the master, as he said. A disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. What a great thing to walk the walk of Jesus Christ. So Paul is not the one we're supposed to follow. But Paul's job was to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the earth, to the whole world, the non-Jews. And he did that, and he started churches. And the churches grew, and they were persecuted to a great extent. And then what was his name? Was it Cornelius? The Roman emperor that became converted to Christianity, and he made Christianity the state religion. And it was not persecuted much after that, you see. Why? That was because they were not following Jesus Christ. But they had set up their own systems and workings, combining the Roman religion with Christianity. But guess what? That's what God wanted. God wanted his word to be spread throughout the whole earth because they were killing all the Christians. There was not a great attraction for people to become Christians when they knew what was going to happen to them. The great persecution, you see? And that's why the suffering that you undergo as a disciple of Jesus Christ brings you so close to God. And all that's written in the Psalms becomes crystal clear. You live that life. And you feel those feelings that are in the Psalms that were written of the Spirit of God that Jesus Christ experienced also in his walk with God. And it becomes all so clear. That's why I read some translations, like the New World Translation. They had corrected a lot of things, yes, but originally it was like, man, this stuff doesn't even make sense. But when I went out and followed Jesus Christ and had the King James Bible, it was like, wow, man, this is powerful. And even though the suffering was there, the closeness to Jesus Christ, the closeness to the walk that he walked was unmatched. That feeling of closeness to God. You know, it's like being buried in a pit, and yet you're buried there with Jesus Christ. And that closeness and that unmatched closeness to God. So he tells his disciples, sell what you have, give alms, and follow me, he says. Let the dead bury their dead. You follow me. Jesus Christ mentioned nothing about building churches. Nothing at all. But as he did mention that the enemy had sowed his seed in among the wheat. And they are the ones that like to build the churches today. They invent the churches. They steal the light that comes from the disciples of Jesus Christ and claim to be the authors of it and want to make a great name for themselves. They build a church and they become famous. And in history you can read about them. That was their desire. They didn't follow Jesus Christ. None of them. None of them did. Let's drop down to Luke chapter 12. Let's drop down to verse 41. After speaking of that, Jesus says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be. And then he says, whatever watch ye coming. If you're doing this, man, then blessed are those servants. Whether you come in the second watch or the third watch, blessed are those servants that listen to the Lord, our Lord, Jesus Christ. I heard a lot of people saying, oh yeah, Jesus is the one, but do you follow what he said? You're going to have to. You're going to have to, or else you're going to take the mark of the beast, because you're not going to want to give up all your luxuries and your comforts. But if you want to escape the beast system and the mark, you're going to have to start following Jesus Christ. And you're going to have to flee to the mountains. And you're going to have to pray for your daily bread. Forget about a week or a month later. You're going to have to pray for your daily bread. It's going to be moment by moment, your salvation. And you're going to be in great jeopardy. But your soul is going to be comforted in faith if you have faith. So then, anyway, it says, be therefore ready also. For the Son of Man cometh at an hour when you think not. What does it mean to be ready? Well, all these things that he said here. And the Lord said unto Peter, Peter said unto him, Lord, speakest thou this parable unto us, or even to all? Wow, what a great question. Are you just speaking to us, Jesus, to do these things? Are you speaking to everybody that they should do these things? And the Lord said, who then is that faithful and wise steward, whom the Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Of a truth I say unto you, he will make him ruler over all that he hath. But, and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and the maidens, and to eat and to drink and to be drunken, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, at an hour when he is not aware, and he will cut him in sunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. So this is who the faithful and discreet slave is. Not those that mass gold and silver and carry it, but those that follow Jesus Christ. Those are the ones. Those are not the Masonic lodges that make churches. These are the true Christians that follow Jesus Christ that I'm speaking of.